welcome back to the Real Estate Huddle, episode 97, where we're going to be talking about what does $500,000 get you in each of these towns. So we're going to go over several towns in the Denver metro area and show you what exactly will $500,000 buy you, and it may surprise you. So we're going to get things kicked off and just tell you a little bit about like our average price in the Denver metro area. It's actually $782,000 right now, and it's 1% lower than it was last year. So our values have actually gone down just slightly with single family homes. Attached homes, you can get your average attached home is $425,000. That's actually down 7% since last year, believe it or not. So definitely some good deals there in the condo and townhome market. And average days on market continues to grow at about 40 right now overall. And that's up 33% from last year. And so this is a kind of a big benchmark. 500,000 is where the first time home buyers feel like, okay, this is somewhat comfortable where we can afford a payment or almost afford a payment, begin to afford a payment. And so that's why we're going to talk about $500,000 right now so that you can get a feel for how far that money goes in each of these towns. And so we'll kick things off. I'm going to start with Arvada. If you saw our last episode on Old Town Arvada, it's a great neighborhood. And we'll talk a little bit about this. So this home, what you can get there is not a ton of square feet, but this place is, just over 1,000 square feet. So 1,092 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. And this place was built in the 1950s, 1955, ranch home, no basement. But you can see, not a ton of updates, but it does have some hardwood floors. It's got a decent kitchen. There is a lot to like about this home. You just don't have a ton of size. So that's the main thing. But it does have a kitchen that's been remodeled a little bit, and it is a single family home, so you can find detached single family homes in Arvada still. At that $500,000 price point with a decent yard size too. And this one's just on the east side of Wadsworth. So west of Wadsworth is where Old Town is right here. And you're like 5 minutes from Old Town. So it's actually a pretty good location proximity to that and to jobs in Denver and to the mountains. So that's what you can get in Arvada.
Right, moving on to Highlands Ranch. At this price range, we're seeing more kind of townhomes, but they are in master plan communities with parks, rec centers, pools, and just well-maintained neighborhoods. Very family-friendly and excellent schools all around. So again, you are kind of sacrificing that single-family style, but the townhomes are also a good deal. Here, this listing is 6404 Silver Mesa Drive, Unit E. And as you can see, we are missing some of those updates and things like that, but it is built in 2000, so it's not super old or anything. And there is a pool and tons of fun amenities and things to do around, even just in the neighborhood, like I mentioned, so that's cool. This specific one is 1,800 square feet as well, so getting you kind of close to that single family home square footage too.
Nice. 3 bed, 2.5 bath, right, which is nice. And when we looked, currently there are 0 single-family homes in Highlands Ranch at $500,000 or below. So that tells you something, that you're going to be looking at attached units in Highlands Ranch, condos or townhomes, if you're buying there for $500,000.
Yeah. Next up is going to be Aurora. So in Aurora, there's a couple new build communities that you can actually purchase in that $500,000 range. So the one that we're looking at right now was built in 2023. It's in the Aurora Highlands community. So it's a 2-bed, 2-bath, single family house. It's going to be 1,500 square feet, so 1,517 to be exact, with no basement. But there are houses that were built this year in 2025, also in Aurora. So kind of if you're looking for like a newer build community in that price range, Aurora is going to be a good bet for you. This one has a 2-car attached garage. And the HOA is only $100 per month. So definitely affordable as far as that goes. And that includes recycling and trash. So it looks like you don't get as much as you do in the Highlands Ranch area, as Gabby discussed. But still, you kind of can get that new build community. So it kind of depends what's important to you. If you care about those amenities or if you care more about the newer home.
Totally. And like the newer homes, like what people want that are going to Aurora and some of these other places on the east side of town is laundry on the same floor as bedrooms, like if that's a big deal, open floor plans, if that's a big deal, higher ceilings, if that's a big deal. Like there's a ton of new construction going on at Aurora right now. So that's a good one.
All right, check out this bad boy in Lakewood. This, I think, is pretty emblematic of what you can get for $500,000 in Lakewood. It's a brick ranch, little over 1,000 square feet. It's got a pretty good sized lot, so 1/5 of an acre, a little more spread out than some of these other areas. And unlike some of those other ones, you can get some pretty nice updates. So got a nice updated kitchen, quartz counters, hardwood. So 3 beds, only 1 bath. It was built 1960, so a little bit older builds in Lakewood, but I love Lakewood. I live there myself. The location's great. You're right between the mountains and Denver. And if you're looking for a ranch home, there's a lot of ranches. If you're looking for something a little bit more spread out, being able to get just a nice single family home, I think there's a ton of great options around 500 available in Lakewood.
Nice. That's awesome. Cool. And then I've got one that is in Thornton. So like that Thornton North Glen area, a little further north, removed from the city by about 20, 30 minutes, directly north of Denver. And this is a home on 14008 Jackson Street in Thornton.
Great
That's
street.
right on, yes, amazing street. It says Jackson. And it's got 3 bedrooms. It has 1 full bath and then a 3/4 bath. And it's newer construction, built in 2019. So newer home, as you can see, lots of new, fresh style with it being only 6 years old, and open floor plan, really high ceilings. A lot to like about this place, but it's about 1,837 square feet. And it says single family, but it's like a paired home. So it's got a party wall agreement between the 2 units. And so one half is one side, and then it's got like a mirroring unit on the other side. So we're seeing a lot more like single family duplexes, basically is what you would call it, right? Where they're like, it's not a huge HOA, which is nice. You don't have to pay $400 a month, but it's like, usually these paired homes are like between $80 and $150 a month for the HOA, but you're able to have your space to yourself and only share one wall. So that's what you get in North Glen and Thornton, that kind of area. And this is great proximity to I-25. You're close to all of that, but you're pretty far north. In this case, 140th north. So it's on the north side of Thornton. It's even further of a drive to get downtown or over to the mountains.
Mm-hmm. All right, for $500,000 in Denver, you and another buddy with $500,000 can get a house and share it. Mm-hmm. But if you're just looking at $500,000, I think this is a great example. Historic 1900 low-rise building with a condo in there. You got almost 1,000 square feet. Bedrooms and living room, all that's going to be a little bit smaller than some of these other areas, but you can get a 2-bed, 1-bath, awesome little condo here. You're right in Cheeseman Park, so walkable area. You're right by one of the most popular parks in Denver, and in the heart of Denver. There's some places that are technically Denver where you can get a house for $500,000, like Green Valley Ranch and places, but for what people are thinking of like a downtown Denver home, I think for $500,000, this is a great example of what you can get.
Awesome.
Well, Littleton's a very similar deal to Highlands Ranch, except for the differences in Littleton. There actually are 9 listings of single-family homes that are for sale for $500,000. But I, for this example, chose this townhome in Sterling Ranch, just to kind of show that as compared to Highlands Ranch, you're actually able to get a few more updates and things like that in Littleton, even though it's still an attached home. This one is 1,500 square feet and built in 2022. So that's kind of cool, even though you're, again, not really having a yard or anything like that. You have all the amenities, and it is a fairly new home. And it's 2 beds, 3 baths. And yeah, that's kind of what you get in Littleton, very similar to Highlands Ranch.
Totally. And it's worth mentioning, I'm guessing that like all of those single family listings that are available, most of them are going to be south in that Sterling Ranch neighborhood because it's a little further removed, but it's newer stuff, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So There's definitely some good options down there, but like the heart of Littleton, like north, probably nothing available. Probably very similar to Highlands Ranch in that regard, like you mentioned. So, did we have any others?
Generally, I think we just have some tips for buyers around 500,000. So making the list and defining the difference between your must-haves and your nice-to-haves. At 500,000, you're probably not going to get an indoor lazy river in your house. May not be the absolute final dream home, but I like to tell buyers the 80-10-10 rule. So if 80% of the boxes are checked, especially those must-haves, 10% you can change, and then 10% you can live with. So if you're finding a home in this $500,000 range that's checking your must-have boxes, there's a few things that you can change as you're living in it. And, you know, maybe if some boxes aren't checked, there are things that you can live with. I think that's a great option.
Great stuff there, man. That was awesome. 80-10-10 is a great loan type too. And if anybody does want a lazy river, just buy a house in Arvada and you're right next to Waterworld. So you can still get there.
That's true. And a wave pool.
Yeah. The Zoomerang. You got everything there. So awesome. So hopefully this has helped just to consider like which areas in town may be best for you. If you are a first-time home buyer trying to buy a place in this tough affordability crisis, you have to think about what your priorities are and really nail that down. And sometimes, but we've worked with a lot of people that are like, location is number one. And so we show them homes in that location that they're really interested in. And then other buyers are just like the house, like we want the house, right? And it doesn't matter where it is, especially with more work at home type people. That tends to be a little more important. It's just we want our living space to be just right in the way we want it. And so there's that too. So wherever you fall on that scale, we would love to talk to you. If you want us to reach out and just talk to you about your personal situation as far as what you're after, feel free to reach out with this number here, and you're welcome to connect with us. And we look forward to chatting with you about your home search. And we appreciate you listening. We'll catch you on the next episode.